Welcome to the Expansion Frequency. My name is Carolina Balboa. I'm your host, and this is a space where we get to share our knowledge, wisdom about healing, growth, expansion, spirituality, and have different conversations. This is something that I've been feeling the calling for a while, and we're finally here. I'm ready to just start sharing some insights, some perspectives, so hopefully it resonates with you all. Today, I felt called to start and come here to talk about the holiday season. I myself came from Los Angeles to Rio, where I'm from, and I know that traveling can be so chaotic this time of the year. The energy at the airport and the flights, all of that is just so intense out there. So I wanted to come here and do just a quick conversation with you all because I know that some of you might benefit on how to stay grounded, how to handle that, because it's funny, a lot of people, they see spirituality, all of that side of themselves when they are meditating, but I do see that in our day-to-day life is when we're actually being tested. That's a real ultimate test. So every time I'm in spaces like that where the energy is so chaotic, I see that as an opportunity for me to actually practice, for me to walk my talk. So this time I had a lot of different challenges. So there's a fun fact. I actually had my Brazilian passport expire the day before my flight, and of course I did not check that. So was interesting because I just identified that, but I'm lucky that I was able to have a Spanish passport. I was able to stay grounded and be like, this is gonna be fine in that case, right? But I could have easily fit into that energy of like, oh my God, so chaotic. Like our minds, like even if it's a small or big issue, our minds can make everything a big issue if we don't control it and have a healthy inner talk. So no matter what you're going through, right, we all have the control to be more proactive on staying calmer with our minds, because it's easy for us to feed off this energy of chaos. Because what I find fascinating about airports is that our ego, it's so loud. It's all about me. It's like, I gotta go there. I have places to be. Like, let me get my luggage first. Like, everyone's fighting like survival. And I just find it like fascinating to observe human behavior. And I find that as like an opportunity for me to observe my own and being able to be patient, being kind, because that place needs that. So it's something that I see the opportunity to actually be the light for myself, so I have a more pleasant experience, but also help others. Everyone is going through something. Everyone likely had a stressful path to get to the airport, and also during the airport journey and flight and all of that, there's so much happening. So how can we be kind to ourselves and others in that? And I feel that this is the most spiritual opportunity life gives us, right? Holiday season and being in airports, transportation, where everyone is very stressed. So, I mean, of course, the basic things I would say to just like have more time, right? Plan a little better than usual so you're not stressed. I think that's like a basic, no, doesn't matter like what time of the year, if you want to just be more relaxed. But then from there are just like random things that for my own health that I think is very important. Like I always have like meditation for like downloaded so I can listen to it during the flight. I also have like instrumental, very good like quality music in that sense. So I just put like whatever headphones you're in so you get into that like relaxing state. Also supportive shows, like hopefully things that are not too intense so you can have a higher frequency and not like in that chaotic journey. And also like jet lag and just overall health, like, right, I always bring like healthy snacks because it's so easy for us to not be healthy and our bodies feel. That's something that we don't think often. We're just like, oh, free food, and we're just kind of survival eating everything that they give us. But there's just, I never trust that food as much. So it's something that I always try as much as I can to hydrate a bunch. That's super important for jet lag too. Like it's something that I remember reading about because I travel often. So don't ignore that. And I'm bringing healthy snacks. And something that for me is very important as soon as you land, right? Like trying to stay grounded. I feel that for us, for example, to not nap or anything like that as much as we can, or at least depends on the time. But I think that it's so important for us to adjust, like wherever we are, to go to the right time zone, right? So try to adjust like whatever it is for yourself. So, and sometimes like I would take melatonin if I have to, if I feel that I'm too awake, to help me regulate. But besides that, I work with light, right? Like having candlelight, making sure that I don't have white light at night. Like after 9 p.m., I try to reduce or change my kind of lighting around me to help my brain understand like it's bedtime. And what else? I also, okay, so now this is one I love, and most people in my community, they know about that. Like I'm a huge fan of herbal showers, herbal baths. There's so much about that, and the energy is so chaotic in flight that I love, of course, taking a shower with salt and rosemary. Salt has properties of removing any negativity. So for me, all the heaviness, all the chaos around us, salt really helps me before I sleep. And always you should do that at night, regardless, because then your energy field like is more open. So it's an opportunity for us to protect yourself, to integrate, so you don't absorb when like going out right after. So it's great to have that quiet time and actually use the time to sleep with that renewed energy. So taking a shower, of course, for many reasons that we should all be doing that. But then, of course, I do like to add that layer of rosemary and salt, because rosemary is more uplifting. So kind of like it's two in one. Like we remove the negativity, all the chaotic energy that we might, unfortunately, might have absorbed. And then we add the rosemary. There's more uplifting. So you sleep hopefully like a baby. Also lavender, of course, like if you have essential oils, things like that. I like to like really use all my tools like as soon as I arrive, so it helps me like regulate, because it is stressful time, right? So I do my best to take care of all of these things while I am traveling, but then as soon as I land, all of those are the things that I really try to keep in mind to try to get some rest and help my body. Like basically that's it. Like thinking about like we're the parents, right, of our body. So how can we guide our bodies to actually be more grounded as quickly as possible, in the most like the healthiest way that we possibly can. And also working out is also a famous tool or a habit to help with time change if you go somewhere that it does have a time change. So doing yoga feels great if you can do hot yoga. I love hot yoga, and having an opportunity to stretch the body, right? There's so much tension. So any kind of activity, even if it's just a gentle walk, like you don't need to do anything intense, but I do think like stretching, walking, yoga, like all of this I think is very helpful to kind of reconnect the body, move the body. If you have more time, of course, and you want some even more self-care, like a massage, I highly recommend, because we get so bloated as well from flying. So our bodies suffer a lot from flying, right? But it's something that, of course, it's not going to stop us, but it's important for us to know how to bring our bodies back to balance, because the more that the quicker we do that, the quicker we actually enjoy. We're back into our energy. I remember reading that we take up to 4 days to energetically arrive, and I think that's a timing that we typically do not respect. We get first with a lot of people travel very fast, like they only stay in a place for 4 days. So as soon as they are finally arriving energetically, it's time to come back. So it's a lot for our bodies, and as I'm getting older, I'm also loving like slow traveling, because it gives my body the time. Like I can be in my own energy the first day. I can just be more thoughtful about the food, nourishing my body with the right food, real food. And whenever, like after a day or two, I'm slowly like feeling better, more rested, my body's feeling more grounded, then I can actually like show up into the world, and I show this side of me. So for me, all of that is super important too, to take care. I know, like I also use some sprays that are more energetic cleansing too. So there's a lot of different options out there. There are a lot of different plants that they use in sprays, but of course you're not gonna be like with sage or any incense in an airplane or just like in weird like places. But you can have maybe, like spraying before your plane, after your flight. All of this helps you too to feel like you're doing that energetic cleansing in so many ways. So all of these things I wanted to share because some of you might be traveling this holiday, and I benefited from all of that stuff. And I think it's so important for us to be thoughtful too. Like airplanes can be very stressful, very intense. So being super mindful of how you're using your energy. I love journaling on airplanes. I think that using the time to just be with your thoughts, like that's why for me the playlist with no lyrics, just instruments, and then using that moment to think, be with my thoughts is kind of like an active meditation. And then being able to just journal about my life, about my business, all the ideas. So see, I'm here now. I feel that there's something that maybe came from that journaling that I'm finally able to show up here and share. So maybe someone out there will resonate. So I hope this was helpful. I wanted to just bring this insight, and I hope to see you more often here. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.